And we are live. Well, not really live. I mean, we're recording it live, but I'm Stan Arthur, and this is The Stan Show, and this is my co-host, Courtney Wilde.
How's it going, guys?
Good to see you.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be anywhere. Did you have a good week?
It has been a wonderful week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell me about it.
Well, as we all know, I am a real estate broker, but I'm a provisional broker.
Yes.
So I'm winding up the last of my brokerage classes and getting my exams knocked off. I took one the other day. All good to go on that one. Now two more that I'll get done in the next 3 days
All right.
or so.
Well, I think that calls for a very big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go. Actually got your information up on the screen right now. So that
sweet.
People would know how to contact you in regard to your realty business.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's cool. I hope that everything's going well.
I hope so, too. I have a really, really nice piece of land over in Otto, a little bit south of Franklin.
Okay.
That I'm hoping somebody wants to make into their dream.
Cool.
No restrictions. It can be anything they want.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
What about your week? What have you done?
Well, we just had a fabulous Sunday dinner. It was great. It's just so good. So good. My wife, Karen, who you've met Karen, you know Karen, she just comes up with great ideas for Sunday dinner. The family comes over, it's me, Karen, my brother Fred, who you probably haven't met yet. You need to meet Fred.
I do.
There's Fred, and there's my son and his girl and their baby. And, and then maybe sometimes my daughter and her daughter will come up and join us. But we always have a good crew here for Sunday dinner. And my wife is always thinking up great things to do for Sunday dinner. And last night it was shish kebabs.
Oh, sweet.
And so she put them all together. And, of course, it's just fantastic with the steak and onions and peppers and mushrooms. And I mean, it's just fantastic. And then I get to grill them up on the smoker grill, which I enjoy immensely. I am into some grilling.
Nice.
I am into it.
That's such a manly thing to do.
I guess. And, it's funny because I learned most of what I know about grilling, I learned from YouTube because there are some great grillers on YouTube who just do fantastic videos. But I had a good time. I just had a lovely time. She also gave me some chicken skewers, and I just took them right off the skewers, and there's these flexible mats you can get to put on your grill. It seems like they would melt if you put them on a grill, but they don't. They're probably full of Teflon and PFAS and all that, but I don't know. They probably
Do you get your grill under over 350 degrees?
No. Not for this kind of thing. About 350 is about right. So I just did those. I put that mat on the grill to do the chicken, just a bunch of little pieces of chicken. So just put them all on there, and I'm kind of feel like a hibachi chef, one of those guys flipping the paddles and all that, and just put a bunch of teriyaki sauce on there, and just did them all up. Man, that was so good, so good. And the shish kebabs on rice and. Man,
he's making me hungry, right?
We had a feast. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. So I love that. That was great. Week-wise, I have another YouTube channel called Horror and Sci-Fi Fun Facts. So I've been trying to populate that channel a little bit. I got, that I spent my career as a video producer. It's what I did for a living for 25 years. I was a video producer at a law school, the only law school in the nation that had its own film studio. And that was because I went to work there, and we created it, and we made it. And it was a great way to spend a career. I got hired for $7.88 an hour.
Incredible.
In 1998, and it just went up from there. So it got a whole lot better, I'll say that.
Nice.
Won a bunch of awards. A lot of them are on my wall back here and stuff for videos and stuff. Anyway, the point is that we have some amazing tools for video now that we didn't have even a couple of years ago.
This is
Most
true.
of it's AI stuff, video enhancing stuff, and some of it's crap. Some of it makes people look like plastic and stuff. It's not great, but it's getting a lot better. And the tool I use, which is the most popular one out there by a company called Topaz Labs, is called Video AI. That's it. It's just called Video AI. And they have a new model for enhancement called Starlight. And we've been doing, it was in beta, and we were doing we're just doing short like 10-second samples of it for 3 or 4 months so they could get it out there and show it to people because it's really, really amazing. So They just came out with video AI version 7, which I have, and now we can do Starlight ourselves just with any. We can do an entire whatever. It doesn't matter how long it is. It's incredible. So one of the first things I did for my horror and sci-fi channel was I took an old movie trailer off. I just downloaded off of YouTube an old movie trailer. It's a Dracula movie from 1958, starring Christopher Lee. It's one of those Hammer horror Dracula movies. And it's very much a fan favorite. People love this movie. So I took the trailer, and it looked all right. It wasn't great. It was okay. And I put it through the Starlight. And it's a 2-minute trailer, and it took 5 hours to process. And when it came out, it looked absolutely amazing. Like brand new, fresh, just like the best looking thing, So I put it up there on YouTube, and it's already, a couple of days ago, it's already been watched 1,000 times, and people were loving it, just loving it. So I might do more of that. That was fun. I've taken some old movie trailers. But so for the horror and sci-fi channel, I've been trying to get 2 or 3 videos out each week. It's rough because you never know what people are going to like or what they're not going to like. Which doesn't really matter, I guess, because it takes, you got to jump through a bunch of hoops to get monetized, which is not monetized. It's going to be eventually, maybe if I keep it up, but I might just move on. The thing I'm not doing is I'm not making music. And the reason why I built this studio was to make music. And I really need to do that. I really need to get into that. But got my head stuck in this horror and sci-fi fun facts thing. But YouTube's kind of nasty, to tell you the truth. They are taking, I started out as just shorts, the vertical shorts like TikTok for the horror and sci-fi fun facts. And I kind of graduated into the full-size videos, but now there's one of each. When I pick a movie, I'll do a short and I'll also do the horizontal one. And they're the same thing. They're all 3 minutes long, but I can actually make the horizontal ones. I can make them longer if I want. I have done that. But the thing is that YouTube loves shorts because people have short attention spans. They love the shorts. And so I started off making shorts. And all of a sudden, these videos start getting watched. And I'm like, wow, I'm watching them go up, 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 up. And then they're flatline. And they go like that. And then they're not featured anymore. And I'm like, what's that about? I mean, if people are watching, and then all of a sudden they flatline, why is that? Well, because they just take them out of the featured things after like 24 hours. They just take them out of the featured thing. And then you can't get people to watch them unless they're featured because people go through these shorts feeds. It's a rabbit hole, right? The shorts thing, it is a complete rabbit hole, and you can go down it. And I'm just going through shorts, and I'm watching them, and I'm skipping the ones I don't want to see and watching other things. Before I know it, I've spent an hour and a half looking at shorts, and the time just went away. And YouTube is counting on that. They are absolutely counting on that.
That's true.
So I have to focus on not going down the rabbit hole. And I thought we might demonstrate that a little bit here today. Let's see. Okay, now this is Facebook. This is called Reels, but it's a lot like it. But these things can be very entertaining, much more so than YouTube. YouTube tend to be kind of centered on what you like. And
that's true.
It's like if you have a certain political bent, they will show you pretty much all of that.
That's true.
And that's fine if you're in the mood for that. But if you're not, so I just thought maybe we'd go down the Facebook Reels rabbit hole for a minute, just to see what happens. Okay. Now this is the first one I pulled up. I've seen a bunch of these lately. These are kids' drawings of animals. Mm-hmm. And then there's like these great AR 3D renditions of what that animal would actually look like if it was what the kid drew.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So it's funny. Anyway, so let's do a little bit of this. There's no sound of this one. It's just, there's like, okay, that. And this is found in nature. What the hell is that? Well, it turns out it's a squirrel.
Oh, mercy. Gravity defying.
Oh, look,
squirrel.
A fish. It's got a fish.
That was pretty accurate.
Well, if I saw that, that's it. So we go to the next. Let's go to the next. Who cares? It's a lot of. Oh, this bug farts poison gas. Is that killer? Is that awesome? They put the artillery sounds with it. It's fantastic.
Websites.
This guy. Let me stop. This guy, Matty McTech. I have been following this guy for years. You ever seen him?
No,
Matty McChack?
Maybe.
He tells you about websites you should know about that most people don't know about. And they're always, well, almost always fascinating. Like, that's for real? That's a real website. Mm-hmm. So he's funny. He's exactly the same every time. There's websites you should know. This one's 290. So this is number 297.
297. Have you ever found a piece of furniture online that you like, but you didn't want to pay the ridiculous price for it? Just copy the URL for that product up top.
Copy the
then
URL.
Go to this website.
Spokio.io.
Spokio.
I subscribe to that.
Spokio.io. Mm-hmm. Okay. But you copy the URL from the website where it's expensive, and then you go to Spokio.io.
Mm-hmm. If you paste the URL in the search bar.
You got that? You're pasting the URL you just copied. You're now pasting that up in the search bar on Spokio.
On Spokio,
right.
yes.
Hit enter. It will show you similar items across the web that are much cheaper. Easy, powerful website.
How cool is that?
Spokio is an incredible website. I love it.
But you find it somewhere else, and then you can easily just copy that URL. Boom, and there it goes. Oh, here's another one of these things, children's drawings. Oh, God, look at all the teeth. Oh, man. Oh, man. Turn your old photos into video. I do this all the time with my horror and sci-fi fun facts. And I didn't start out this way doing it, but I'm doing it now. And I absolutely love it. And I found a free website. Free. It's a little rigmarole. You got to download this software, and then you got to open up the other program. It really only takes seconds to do it. It took a little while to set it up, but it's totally worth it. Where I can put in any photograph, and it will animate that photograph. It'll turn it, and you can even put instructions of what you want the person in the photograph to do.
Oh, neat!
Right?
So cool.
It's so cool.
That's so cool.
So in one of my videos I made about fun facts, it was about a movie called The Quatermass Experiment, and Quatermass is this series of films. There were 3 Quatermass films from Hammer. They started in the 60s, and they actually came from a serial that was on BBC television, and then they made proper feature films out of these things, black and white, but, you know. And part of the story was that when Quatermass Experiment came out, and it came out in 50s. The 50s. Yeah, it was like 1958 when the Quatermass, or 57 or something. No, 54 when the Quatermass Experiment came out. 55. Yeah, one of those. But a young couple took their young son to see it, and in the opening sequence of the movie, the young son had a heart attack and died in the movie theater.
Incredible.
Because he was so frightened. And it turned out he had a major issue.
Right.
Major issue, but the excitement caused the issue to make his heart stop, and he died in the movie theater. It went down in the Guinness Book of World Records as the only person who ever died from fright in a movie theater, ever. Yeah. So how are you going to show that on a video?
Right.
How are you going to show that? So what these things do, what these services do like this, is you give it a photograph, and it will animate the photograph. But you got to have the photograph first. And if the photograph doesn't exist, you have to make that first. So you can do that in other websites.
Holy smokes, it's almost like fake news.
It's totally fake news. And you know that Mr. Reagan thing we showed last week?
That's right. Yeah.
Of Donald Trump doing that thing? That's exactly what we're talking about. But that's additional work to make the mouth and the language move and the whole thing. I haven't gotten into that yet. I did a little bit, but I didn't like the results, so I stopped doing it. But so I wanted to show this kid in a movie theater with his parents on either side of him. So I go to a site where you can create your own photographs, and I say a young couple sitting in a movie theater with their son sitting in a seat between them. Their young son, I said 10-year-old son sitting between them, are watching a movie and he's eating popcorn. So it gave me that, and it looked pretty good. Now, because the whole movie was in black and white and it was supposed to be retro, I changed it to black and white, and I put it in this application that will animate your photos. So I just did one with him watching a movie and eating popcorn. And then I did a second one where I said he clutches his heart and dies. And it did it on the first try.
Nice.
And I watched that. I went, oh, that's amazing. So I used both of those clips to tell this story, just as a very short part. I was just so tickled with myself. I thought it was awesome.
Nice.
But anyway, so look at this. You see, you can animate your baby photos from long ago. Look at wedding photograph. Is that cool?
That's pretty cool.
So I know this place will charge you to do it, but I know a free one where you can do it.
Nice.
And it's unlimited and it's uncensored too, which could be deadly. But
Yeah. Send me that link.
will do. It's a setup. You got to set it up, and it only works. Oh, this is a killer. This is probably why it wouldn't work for you. It's because it only works if you got a certain kind of graphic card in your computer, which is an NVIDIA graphics card, which as a video producer, you got to have that. You got to either have an AMD graphics card or an NVIDIA graphics card. And even this laptop, you can see right here, has an NVIDIA graphic card built into it because I wanted it to be able to do stuff like this, produce this show on the laptop. Right. Anyway, so let's see what's
I wouldn't go in there if I were you.
Oh, he's holding her nose.
I warned you not to go in there.
Yeah, because of the smell, not the dead body. So gross.
Oh, she's going to go anyway.
Hey, I'm Alex Stone in London, Kentucky. I want to show you something. It's an incredible story. So,
So you say Stone?
this was a home right here before Friday night, right before midnight when the tornado
watched this
struck
one.
here.
Oh, you heard about all the tornadoes.
Oh, yeah.
28 people killed. 28 people killed. Oh, wait a minute. I missed
Hey, I'm
it.
Alex Stone in London, Kentucky. I want to show you something. It's an incredible story. So, this was a home right here before Friday night, right before midnight when the tornado struck here. That SUV, that's where the kitchen used to be. But where this home went with the family inside and everybody survived incredibly. You can hear the chainsaws going as cleanup is going on here. They're running new power poles over here already, trying to get electricity flowing again. But this home,
Where did it go?
now walk with me,
Oh, my goodness. It picked
all
up
the way
entire
over
house.
here.
They're not in Kansas
The home
anymore.
flew with a grandfather, grandmother, mother, and children who were inside. 4 children, the youngest being 6 years old. There's their home.
Holy crap.
They were trapped inside this home, debris all over them, granite countertops all over them. They got out. The homeowner we talked to, just a little scratch, 4 stitches up
Oh,
above
my.
the eye,
Oh, my.
and they were under all of this.
Wow. So this is what I mean about going down the rabbit hole. You see stuff like this, you just go,
Yeah.
and you're watching it, you're watching it, you're watching it. It's incredible. Hey, check this one out.
Hey, it's Corbin. Controversial Courtney ain't okay to talk to y'all today, so she sent me down here to say, holy shit, did y'all see that?
No?
Anyway, this is a country. We ain't in New York City. Drink your coffee, it's healthy.
Who is that guy?
Oh, let's talk about this for a second.
Oh, my.
I saw this. So you put this up the first one I saw was like 2 days ago. And
I just want to say good morning, gorgeous, to all you ladies out there.
folks, in case you didn't get it yet, Corbin is actually Courtney Wilde's alter ego.
You don't see the resemblance? Do a side by side.
Well, I knew immediately that it was you simply because it was on your, it was on your Facebook page.
Right,
And you do these, you do daily, you'll do a good morning and drinking the coffee thing. And so, of course, I knew it was you. And then I thought about for a second, what an effort that was to put that together. I mean, that is just sick and wrong, but wonderful at the same time. And so I'm just wondering, are we going to be seeing more from Corbin?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Now that he's actually made his appearance,
Yeah.
I think he'll be a regular.
All right.
There's
Well,
more. But
okay.
wait, there's more.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
release those down the road. But I figured it was time to get in touch with all my personalities.
Well, you're being Facebook friends. I get your updates. You know, I get notifications about what you post, so I get to see these immediately when
Thank
they
you.
come out. So
Thank you.
it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So what a great character! What an absolutely awesome character! And
He's kind of funny.
And but the way you've done the voice and everything, and I mean, it's astounding. It's really, really well done.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
we're not going to go into the part that, you know, obviously that you're a cross-dresser now.
Yeah, don't.
But,
Is there any little, 35, 40-something-year-old men looking for a little scruffy Corbin?
Oh, my
This is not a dating ad. It is not.
Crazy, crazy, crazy town. Well, I want to talk about one thing and I had sent you a link to this. I wanted you to check it out. I guess you did.
I did.
I found a movie. It was sent to me. I mean, YouTube sent it to me. I found a movie called How One Company Secretly Poisoned a Planet. It's a 1-hour documentary, and I thought we'd just watch the first couple of minutes today so people can get a taste for this, because this is about the whole Teflon, DuPont thing and the things they call PFAS,
Yes.
that has now contaminated the entire worldwide water supply.
And every person on the planet, including newborn babies who have never breathed our air, but they have the PFAS.
It's in there.
Yeah.
It's actually in there. So I hope that you all will just pay attention for just a couple of minutes here with this, and we won't spend too much time on this, but I want you all to go to YouTube and look up How One Company Secretly Poisoned the Planet, and take 1 hour and watch this just to be a little bit more enlightened as to how you should completely be not ingesting tap water at all. Okay, here we go. All right.
In 1929 in Chicago, people kept mysteriously dying inside their homes. It took 15 deaths for the authorities to realize that these people were getting killed by their fridges. Because fridges back then were no longer just boxes of ice. Instead, they relied on a chemical looping through the back to stay cold. And the best chemical for this job was methyl chloride, a toxic and virtually odorless gas. So if it somehow leaked from the fridge, it could kill you without warning. Other fridges used flammable gases instead, so a leak combined with a spark from the stove, and your house could suddenly go up in flames.
Nice.
Yeah.
So one company tried to solve this problem, but in the process, they accidentally created a seemingly magical substance. Soon, it made its way into a huge range of products, which were so popular, they ended up in nearly every home in America. But what people didn't know was that these products came at a price. The chemicals used to make them were being released into the environment, slowly poisoning everyone on the planet, including me.
And we can hold it right there. It's true. This is all completely based in fact, true facts. The fact that DuPont, now I was a little kid when Teflon came out, and my mom just loved it.
Teflon was all the rage.
Oh, man.
And everything that he talks about in this, he cites his facts. It's all public information.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to put
Yeah.
the research in. But
I
he
know-
did that for us.
Yeah. And he gets his own blood tested in this to see what his levels are of the PFAS. It's frightening.
PFAS or some kind of, that's the acronym for the pieces of Teflon remnants that you have in your bloodstream and body and water. And
Right. And we're talking about subatomic, we're talking about on the quantum level here, right?
yeah, people
And-
are becoming more plastic as we speak.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the major upshots I got out of this, just in case you don't feel like watching this documentary that you should watch.
You should watch. It was incredible. Those poor cows in the beginning that took it all to figure out what was going on. A farm downstream from this DuPont factory, the cows just all started their flushes eating away. Their skin is falling off. It's horrible.
It's absolutely horrible.
And the gentleman that owned it.
DuPont was just putting this out, and their waste was coming out into the stream, and boom, and there it goes.
Yeah.
And that was only one plant. They had more plants, and they were doing the same thing.
All over everywhere.
So the major upshots I got out of this was, I'm not going to ingest tap water ever again. I'm going to have filtered water for drinking, for cooking, and for coffee. Filtered water. And the bottled water is okay too, right? I mean, the bottled water is, it depends. You have to get the right, well, you have to make sure your bottled water is filtered water and it is safe from, it is PFAS free. And that's most of the bottled water out there, right? Now, we've heard a lot about plastic bottles, and microplastics in our body, but at some point, we have to get comfortable with how things are and what we can do about it for us personally, just to try to keep a modicum of health happening for us. I'm having trouble remembering the specific cancers that PFAS...
Thyroid, prostate.
Kidney.
Yeah, man problems, prostate.
Yeah. So very important.
Very important. And see, the thing about this is, if you don't watch the whole documentary, one drop, a drop out of a dropper in 5 Olympic-sized swimming pools is entirely dangerous to your health, and it causes cancers. And
one drop of this derivative in 5 Olympic-sized swimming pools is enough to be problematic.
Yes. When it rains in Antarctica, whenever that happens, this stuff is already in the air.
They found this on every continent. They found it even in Antarctica. They found PFAS in the ice it's there because of DuPont and Teflon.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the other things that I thought was interesting is that if you, like my wife Karen, if you frequently give blood, that this actually really helps. It really helps flush it out of your system. If you're not intaking anymore and you're giving blood, like I think today you can give blood right down there. I think the blood mobile is going to be down there at Mountain Layers or something. I'm not sure.
Anytime you don't want to go down there to one of those vans, though, you can go down, stick your feet in a little muddy place in the river and sit there long enough. You'll get some leeches.
Get some leeches.
Do some old time blood, lady.
But there's PFAS in the creek.
The leeches are sucking it out.
Well, anyway, it's scary stuff.
It really is.
It is scary stuff. And I know that cancer is oftentimes it's hereditary, that it affects certain families more than it affects others. And I have been one of the fortunate ones to be in a family that cancer is not an issue, has not been an issue. I had a grandfather that had lung cancer, but he smoked his way into that. And I know there are people who argue now that smoking doesn't cause lung cancer. My sister died at age 60 because she smoked about 2 packs a day of hand-rolled cigarettes. And she didn't get cancer. She just killed her lungs. She died from killing her lungs at the age of 60. But she was a hippie, and she lived a very off-the-path life. Extremely, wow. But anyway, so again, it's called How One Company Secretly Poisoned the Planet, and it's on YouTube. And it's very well told. It's extremely well put together.
They did an excellent job.
Yeah. I have made documentary films, and I have great respect for this one. I'm sure it took a long time to put it together. There's so much information. There's so many graphics. There's so many animations. And really well done. Really, really
Even
well
if
done.
you just listen to it while you're cleaning or whatever, the information is so well formatted and put together that you're not overloaded and you get the whole story in an hour. And that took years to put together.
Well, yeah, and they're not beating you over the head with it either. Mm-mm. They're not beating you over the head with it. It's just very well put together. Mm-hmm. And the guy's I've seen some of the other stuff he's done now. And he's very easy to take. He's very good at what he does.
Just matter of fact, to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets millions of people watching his videos. Yeah. I'd say make that channel, subscribe to that channel on YouTube, make it one of your favorites. And speaking of subscribing to channels, you can always subscribe to this channel. There's a little reminder to give us a thumbs up like for our videos and subscribe to the Stan Show channel, and we will be eternally grateful for that. Anyway, so what else we got for you today? Well, I saw a new television show. Just came out. It's called Duster. And I was just really digging this show. There's only one episode out so far. And if you don't have Max, you can get it, or you can find other ways to watch everything that you don't want to pay for, but which a lot of people are doing these days because, man, people are just getting fatigued by subscriptions.
Well, I mean, we're moneyed to death every which way we turn.
Yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy. But anyway, we're going to watch the trailer to Duster now. It is on Max. Most of you will probably recognize the star of the show because he came from Walking Dead. I'm trying to remember. Can't remember which show he was on, but whatever it was, I watched it. But, you know, I'm old now. My memories are shot. But, okay, so this is the trailer for Duster on Max.
Okay, let's see what we got.
How do you feel about violence? I'd be lying if I said the work I do doesn't go upside down sometimes. If that were to occur, what would you say?
Where are we going?
There she is, the rookie who thinks she can take down the Southwest Al Capone. You're pretty intense.
It's because I play to win. What about the Duster? Who's the driver?
Magic on wheels.
I do love my job.
Hold it right there. I need you to come with me. The police report said that your brother's death was an accident. But you don't get to where Saxton is without leaving a trail of bodies. Work with me to build a case against Ezra Saxton.
Sax didn't kill my brother.
What if he did?
Then I'll kill him myself.
Sax has a way of looking at you and seeing exactly who you are. And if he don't catch a scent, Billy the Bloodhound will.
Thank you, Billy.
I just beat the shit out of him and he's thanking me. That's how good I am.
Because of you, they're going to be finding pieces of me in the desert for 100 years. Thanks for your help.
I may be the enemy in your eyes, but what matters is taking him down. Come on, hold that.
She's a problem.
The only thing we got on our side right now is surprise. Hit him fast, hit him hard, live to see another day. You ever see Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid? You want to be Newman or Redford?
Newman.
All right, what do you think?
Nice. That looks very interesting.
Well, I grew up in the 70s, and I love shows like this that are just really well done. I mean, to the finest detail about the 70s. And I've noticed something about myself lately, too, is I tend to not want to watch anything that has mobile phones in it. So, especially, you know, we're talking about the smartphone, you know, these things. Yeah. You realize we've only had these since 2010.
Yeah.
That the iPhone came out in 2010. And before that, we had the flip phones, and which now they call burners, because you can still get them, you know.
Yeah.
You can still get them with their own phone number and their own minutes on them, you know, for criminals and drug dealers and human traffickers who need that sort of thing.
Yeah, they could do that, but they can't shut the blame telemarketers off from calling our phones all the time.
Well,
Shame.
I every time I get one of those, I block the number, and I am getting fewer and fewer of them. So it's working. It is working. And the phone companies, they don't want you to get those phone calls either. And they're working on technology too. They are working on technology to make that stuff go
yes,
away.
because they want us to pay for that technology. I have the spam filter through Verizon that I have to pay for, but Verizon also sells my information.
Yeah.
It says so in the fine print. They sell my number to third parties, and then they charge me to not let those third parties call me, and their spam filter is only effective maybe 70% of the time. And part of that 70% are actually phone calls that I would really like to receive.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Me either.
I can tell you that I'm getting a lot fewer spam calls than I used to get. I used to get 2 or 3 a day, and now I get maybe 2 a week. maybe 2 a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way better than 20 a day.
And for me, it just comes from blocking those numbers. And also I get spam text messages too.
Yeah.
To my phone number. And I block those, and those things just disappear. And then I usually don't get anything from that company ever again. So I'm very happy about that.
Nice.
Because that was getting to be epidemic. It was getting to be terrible. But anyway, getting back to the topic, which was retro style television shows and movies. I love them.
Yeah.
I absolutely love them because I was a young man during that time. I grew up in the 70s. I was a product of rock and roll and disco.
I was going to ask if your shirt was an original or if it's a reproduction.
I got a whole bunch of these shirts before I even moved to North Carolina.
I like that.
I would wear one of these. They're like bowling shirts. So I'd wear these pretty much anytime I went out in public because I mostly just wear T-shirts. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, I'd have these, and they weren't expensive, and they looked good. They look good on camera, don't they?
They do, and that one brings out the blue of your eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
This was from a company called Hard Daddy, harddaddy.com.
I bet Corbin might order him a shirt from there.
They're all, it's all Chinese, so I'm glad I got them when I did because they probably cost 3 times as much now. But I don't know. I guess the tariffs are... They called a 90-day moratorium on the Chinese tariffs, so that's good. So people can get their Temu crap all day long.
Holy moly.
Yeah, yep. Well, anyway, was there anything else you wanted to cover today? I'd like to just do a little wrap-up on the school board thing because, I just was so impressed that I think, and I got to say it's mostly through your efforts. But then again, your efforts are the only ones I'm aware of to get people to the school board meeting. And I understand they have about 40-something people showed up to talk about the graduation issue between Swain County High and Swain County Academy, trying to get it so these kids could walk together in their graduation because there's just a handful of kids from the academy.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of people got up and spoke about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I'm really hopeful that what we have moving forward is...
Well, let's just wrap it up real quick. And then we'll give commentary on it, okay? So the upshot is that people spoke.
People are becoming aware.
People spoke about desiring to have these kids be able to walk together in graduation and not separate them into the main Swain County High graduation and then some little dinky thing where how many? 10, 12?
I think there were 11 eligible. I don't think.
Well, I got, right in between my guess.
8 were graduating. 8 were going to actually graduate. And I think only 1 wanted the whole pomp and 2 maybe wanted the ceremony, but they didn't want the ceremony.
So after the board meeting, the school board meeting, and a bunch of people showed up, and a bunch of people spoke in favor of these kids just being able to walk together.
Yes, and now a bunch of these people were not just rabble-rousers. We have PhD college professors. Mm-hmm. We have mental health experts. Right. So it's not just bad kids raising
in my
fuss.
mind, and I know in your mind, there is an advantage for the young people to be able to walk together with camaraderie, acceptance, and all that. And the school board said no. Yeah. In fact, the opinion came out the next day or the day after, and I read the opinion.
Yeah.
And my takeaway from the opinion was there was no reason to say no. That's my takeaway from it. That their one big thing was they're separate schools, and we're keeping them separate.
Yeah.
And again, my upshot from that is there's no reason to say that. There's no that's not really a big deal. Nobody cares that they're separate schools, but it would be nice if these kids could get the advantage of being together and walking together. And there's no reason to say no to that. There was no reason other than power tripping and keeping you down, and we're more important than you are.
One of the hardest things in the world to do is admit when you're wrong. And when you got 6 folks sitting there going to have to say...
More marriages have broken up over that
well,
ever. But listen, I come from a county where there were like 12 high schools, okay? And then, of course, there's the academies and all that. But you're talking about an academy where 200 people are going to walk. Well, of course, they're going to have their own separate graduation. All right?
8.
Right. But we're talking about Swain County here. Life is different in Swain County.
Which is why we've had a lot of people come here, because they like that sense of community.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
It is.
So
And
what the school board has done is counterintuitive.
Very counterintuitive. And, you know, I started this campaign, let's have some transparency and accountability in our county. I'm a generational local.
Yes.
And I am so thankful that we have so many people that have chose to make this their home, because there is a wonderful sense of community here. And the locals are sometimes real jerks. We all know it. And the stuff of they're outsiders has got to stop, because the people that have moved here and put their roots down here, we all live in the same garden now. We're all planted here together. And we have folks here with master's degrees in teaching that want positions within our school system, but have been denied in favor of new college graduates that are going to benefit our football program. That's happened. It's not hearsay. We have PhD college level professors that are just brushed aside by someone who works for the DOT and never even had to climb the ladder to get his position. And, you know, there's been so much privilege for this certain sect, and it tied in with football. Football is God here. And I've spoke out about that for years. I've never been taken this firm of a stance.
Well, it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. I come from a place where almost everybody is an outsider who is a transplant because it was a tourist town. Now, Bryson City has become a tourist town.
Mm-hmm. We invited it. We asked for it.
I'm 67 years old. I've been coming to Bryson City since I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
Every summer. And later in life, I would come up here 5, 6, 7 times a year.
Yeah.
Because I love it. I hate the beach. I grew up in the beach community, and I hate the beach.
Yeah.
I love the mountains. I love this area. I love everything about it. I've always dreamed of living here. Now, if y'all want to call me a transplant and that makes me invalid.
No, it
for some
doesn't make you
reason,
invalid. That is such a compliment. Okay, we're turning that into a compliment. You can't be a transplant if you're an outsider. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're outside, your roots ain't over here. If you've transplanted in here, you're here.
I know that requires a lot of thought.
Yeah, I know.
And I think this whole
critical thinking is on a low.
I think this whole thing is based on knee-jerk reactions and fear and just fear, abject fear.
I'm over it. I really am.
So
we have got to have better instead of keeping this archaic mindset that wants to promote. I mean, some of these, and I'm not saying the board members, I'm saying in general in Swain County, there are a portion of our young men who have never left that Friday night football field.
Yeah.
And we all know them. We all see them.
Yeah.
And that doesn't need to continue being perpetuated. We have families from here that have moved away to keep their children out of being discriminated against and picked on and bullied because of life choices they had made, you know, the parents. And the parents get their life back on track and they're doing really well in life, but their children are treated horribly at school. So they pull roots and move somewhere else specifically because of how they're treated within our school system.
That's so wrong.
And so it's
just
time
so
for
wrong.
that to break up. I'm not sure why we don't have better, our best, and then some bullshit.
Well, just to wrap up on that subject, and then we'll get out of here. But to wrap up on that subject, you have one superpower, and that's your vote.
Yep, it is.
So and you and I will do our best to keep this program going through the next election cycle.
Working on finding good people that have knowledge and education, that have those kind of resources. I've got a couple of those I'm working with, hoping to convince them to run.
Yeah. Well, in order for things to change, people have to be replaced.
Yeah. And we have to be made aware.
Either minds have to change or people have to be replaced.
That school board can't be trusted to hear what we vote on. How are we getting ready to put them in charge of a $52 million grant to build a new school?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Like, you have to have accountability to your residents. You have to.
Absolutely. So again, when election time comes around, and if we got to have people who are willing to jump in the mud and be part of it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You're not going to.
You're going to get voted in.
or if even if you weren't elected, what's the worst that could happen? You're not going to be ostracized. You're not going to be shunned.
And it's okay. You just still hold your head up and walk on and say, hey, how you doing today?
Well, it happens in elections. That's what happens.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and
it happens when you stand up for what's right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe we can find some people who will run against. People need challenges. They need to be challenged.
Yeah.
And I would be happy to allow people to come into this forum and what we're doing here, and talk to the people of Swain County. And
some diversity,
we need to get more and more people watching this program, because the more people who watch this program, the more people who give us feedback, the more material we have to create a better program for you. So I'm hoping that the word gets out.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you can always follow me on Courtney Wilde on Facebook.
That's right.
I'll do another Spilling the Beans here in the next couple of days and do the next installment of Getting to Know Courtney Wilde.
Yeah. And we'll have to find out what Corbin has to say about that.
We might throw Corbin.
Well, did you have a good time today?
I have had an excellent time.
So with that, I will say, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I hope that it was good for you. And we'll be back here in a week to do it again. So say good night, Courtney.
Good night, Courtney.
And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time.